Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is episode 6 of 5 in 10. It is a wonderful day, and I have a little bit of news for you. All of the questions in today's episodes are from the last week. We did ask for some more, and they are coming in live. So if you have got any more questions for us, send them in on the form at the end of the video or click the link in the description. We will be answering them as quickly as we can. Oleg, how are you feeling about today?
I'm excited. It's a Friday. It's a beautiful day. We had very productive week. Just had a catch up with the product and technical team. We're firing on all cylinders. So yeah, let's get into this.
Absolutely, let's get going. So, the first question for today, can you describe the current relationship between Sweat and Nia?
I mean, it's a really good partnership. We are in close and very regular contact with Near Foundation, Near Intents, and Near AI. So, kind of it's as close as ever. And we're very excited about the latest developments and especially Near Intents that, as you know, significant part of that functionality is already integrated into Sweat Wallet. And we are looking into a lot more there. But as I mentioned in my, kind of in our previous sessions with you, Ashton, I don't want to be making big announcements before things hit 100% of your devices. But, kind of it's really good. And also, as you've heard, April was quite horrendous for hacks. And, we also had an incident. And we had a lot of support from Near team on this. So, kind of I can't wish for a better partner to build on.
That is absolutely lovely to hear. I do remember, of course, being part of the team resolving the hack. There was one heck of a war room created alongside Nia. They were very supportive, and we do, of course, appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Let's go on to question 2, flying through here. How and when does the team review older features for improvements?
Look, it's the same process as new features. We have a goal of making your movement as valuable as possible. And if we see an old feature, kind of dwindling away, fewer of you are using it, or we're getting, kind of feedback bugs or whatever, then, kind of it is the same process as, do we work on, I don't know, for example, Play Hub, or do we pick up something new? And as I said, the process is, does it help us to move the needle on the long-term value of your physical activity? But let me give you several specific examples. I mentioned Play Hub. We've seen that Play Hub was getting quite a lot of usage, but we realized that those that engage with it would be a lot more active across the whole app. And observing this, we thought, why don't we lift it up and make it more central to experience of more users? And we've beefed it up. We simplified the whole interface, removed a lot of scrolling, and you probably know that we've added streaks because we've also realized that many of you have been using it on a daily basis or multiple times a week. And that improves your earning. And that is also generating additional significant revenue for the business, which is a long-term impact on financial value of physical activity. So, we've done all of this, and 100% of you, I think, now have a, streak functionality as well as Earn Hub available in your app. And we're continuing to improve it, adding bits and pieces, fixing some of the feedback that we receive from you. There is a counterexample to that, which is, for example, Sweat Hero, that some of you might remember. It was a very interesting functionality for a very small percentage of users. and we've done a lot of attempts to fix it, improve it, but we realized that the complexity and the flow of it just wasn't worth the amount of work and the amount of effort that was required to keep working on it and even maintaining it. So we had to remove it. And you probably also remember that, one of the big operators, specifically Apple, for one reason or the other, just couldn't wrap their head around this functionality and were, kind of constantly having, problems and writing us letters asking for additional clarifications and this and that. And we realized that, we have to abandon it. And, right now it is removed from the app. So if you feel that there is something there that, kind of doesn't serve a purpose, just keep this information coming. One thing that I can tell you is a very positive feedback from the development team. When you ask them to remove something from the app, they are glowing because you know what? Removing complexity, removing code, removing all the different configs, it it is really, really good experience for them. The app is getting smaller, it is slicker, there are fewer bugs. So we will continue either improving things that they become core of your experience, or we will kill them if they're not.
Absolutely. I mean, one important thing to note down, of course, is that the sort of when is not a direct answer. It's ongoing and always. We're always looking at the experience, we're always looking at the usage and the data behind it, and of course, community feedback. So I wouldn't say that there's like a monthly review of old features. It's just, is it working out for you guys? What do we need to do to improve that?
Absolutely. Keep that info coming, feedback through any channel. We always go through it. We take your feedback very, very seriously. So if you think that we can simplify our app, we'll always do that.
Absolutely. And just at the end there, you mentioned Sweat Hero, which I'm sure many will feel is an unfortunate feature that didn't make it quite to market. And that leads us in to the next one. You previously mentioned in, I believe, episode 4, 1 in 7 features make it to market. How could the community help to improve this metric?
I think short answer is 1 in 7, or to be honest, it's 1 in 6 and a bit, kind of about 15% success rate. So it's somewhere between 1 in 6 and 1 in 7. It's not bad because you know what? If 1 in 1 is successful, then kind of kind of I've never seen that. However, there is one thing that springs to mind. Very frequently, I've been, approached with ideas for features. And if I think through this question carefully, what would help us to, kind of increase success rate is if you formulate a problem that you have. If you say, you know what, I've tried to do this and I couldn't, or I've started doing this and couldn't finish it. And if you formulate a problem, then it is easy for us to having all of this data and so data analytics and AI that we're using, for a lot of internal work to figure out what is the minimum intervention, what is the simplest way to solve it. If you give us a problem, I can guarantee you that we will be able to come up with a solution with our information faster and with a lot higher rate of success than if you throw a specific feature or screen or interaction idea, because then we're going to need to think, why are you thinking about it? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? And thinking in features results in a lot lower rate of success than thinking in problems that you want us to solve for you. So
I think
keep those problems coming.
absolutely. I think a very Great example of this one would be Sweater's Gas, where many of our new users who are completely new to crypto might not understand or know how to pay gas in numerous different blockchains or different tokens, whatever they need. Simplifying that problem down and then resulting in Sweater's Gas, you can pay all of your fees by walking, is a brilliant response to that. So again, the problem there would be I don't understand gas or how to pay it properly. And we obviously came back with solutions for you. So think in that sort of range, come to us with the problems. Absolutely come into Discord, Reddit, Telegram, anywhere you'd like to engage, and we will take that on board.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next question here. Oleg, would you explore adding microtransactions?
When I hear this question, I think not of microtransactions, which are like half a cent or cent transactions. It's probably one-offs, and we looked into this, and we haven't seen an awful lot of kind of good experiences, or sorry, good one-off transactions that were implemented in crypto space. However, if you ask this question, then you probably have a problem that you would like to, for us to solve for you. Just let us know what this sort of problem is, or the issue, or the opportunity that you think we're not seizing. And, it would be fairly easy for us to run a test, even at small scale. So whoever asks this question, please reach out to myself or Ashton, give us a little bit more info, and we'll try to test it and see if it is successful.
Absolutely. And let's move on to the final question. And we are flying through them today, but this one is a bit of a bigger ticket item for you, Oleg. So, what's your marketing strategy for 2026?
You know, Marketing has this connotation of spending money on advertising, spending money on PR, going to conferences. What we see working extremely well for us, and these 5 and 10, kind of regular touch points that Ashton is running, is a testament of this, that it is about communication, transparency, and you, our users, understanding where are we, what's going on, how things are developing. And that's what we are prioritizing this year. So 5 and 10 is one. But I can tell you that one of the things that I'm personally very interested in is continue to work on, towards September, October. You know that on 13th of September, 99% of all tokens that were locked from our launch will be unlocked and fully tradable. That is a very important event in any project timeline, because it removes this precipitous selling events, from risk factors. So we are really aiming by then to fix a lot of things and roll out a lot of new functionalities to make sure that we have everything in place to continue growing and to continue generating more and more profit that will help us to get into buybacks and start driving the value of your physical activity up. So communication, communication, and communication. One thing specifically that we've noticed, and this is a very kind of recent development, we're starting to see more and more users coming on the back of conversations with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. And what we realized is that conversations with these models about move to earn, about opportunity to get into crypto without risking hundreds and thousands of dollars of your money, Sweat and Sweat Wallet are very frequently popping up in the list of kind of recommended projects. And this is a testament to this sort of persistency and us continue building despite the whole crypto market being in crypto winter. And one thing that we also noticed is that information that you guys put into App Store and Google Play reviews that you share on Reddit, that you share on Quora, or appears in Wikipedia is getting picked up by LLMs. So if you want to help and assist us with this communication strategy and making sure that market has the right information about us as a project, keep writing those reviews, giving details, good or bad. I'm not asking you to shill sweat and shill sweat wallet at all cost. Share real information, share numbers, share data, good or bad experiences, because if it's real people, real users who share real experience, all the models are prioritizing this information a lot higher than some marketing post and the blog, kind of top 5 whatever projects that a lot of businesses are using for this hidden marketing, hidden promotion. The real user feedback is a lot more valuable and finds its way into LLMs recommending us and therefore bringing in more users, growing the community.
As always, guys, community focused here. We really want to know your feedback and your thoughts, good or bad. It is really what matters to us here. So keep that coming. Like Oleg said, head over to the App Store reviews, head over to Reddit, Quora, wherever else. If you have questions, you could post on Quora. That obviously works as well. So yeah, that's one of the major aspects. Of course, when it comes to growing the users as well, we are always testing out more features. And as we've mentioned in a few of these 5 in 10s now, referrals is one of the ongoing big projects there, which you guys are using by the thousands. So keep that going, keep inviting your friends too.
Absolutely. Well put, Ashton. Yeah, I think that App Store, Google Play, Reddit, and Quora seem to be the platforms that get a lot of attention from every kind of AI lab. Because if you have a chat with Claude, which I had recently, I just see that kind of sweat and sweat wallet are coming on top if you're talking about move to earn. And the reason for it is because we have a very, very different business model. We don't charge you for an NFT in order for you to start earning. So it is a lot more open and it gives opportunity for millions and millions of people all around the world to engage and come in and start, being members of community without having to have, few $100s as an entry ticket. And that, of course, helps us to make the world more physically active, which is our mission.
Absolutely. Now, guys, I have something maybe a bit upsetting. We don't have a bonus question today, which ultimately brings us to the end. So, again, keep bringing in your questions, post as much as you want. There is no limit on how many you can send in. It has to be related to sweat, but it doesn't have to be about any specific topic. So, any questions you have for Oleg or myself, keep sending them. The QR code is now on the screen, so you can scan this on your phone, or of course, the link is in the description. Please, 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 as always, send through your questions, come into the communities and ask us follow ups. We're always happy to keep these going. Oleg, any final comments before we wrap up for today?
No, just keep your legs moving, get those steps in the system, earn sweat from steps, but also earn steps for, earn sweat by using grow jars, which is an example of active income. It's quite a curious terminology. Everyone is thinking that passive income is a holy grail. We actually think that active income is a lot more exciting because it makes you healthier, it makes you fitter, it makes you live longer, and of course, it adds, cents and dollars to your pockets. So keep moving.
So many benefits. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend and make sure you get your 10,000 steps per day in. Goodbye.
Have a great week. See you next.